So the electric vehicle maker NIO has just dropped a vision for the year 2035 that is, well, it's so audacious, it's almost hard to wrap your head around. We're talking about a massive gamble that could literally reshape the entire global auto industry. So today, let's break it all down. Okay, let's start with the headline number because it's a big one. 5 million cars per year. That's what NIO is aiming for by 2035. Now, just to put that into perspective for you, that is more cars than Ford sold globally in all of 2023. I mean, if they actually hit this target, NIO wouldn't just be some major player, they'd be one of the biggest automakers on the entire planet.
And look, this isn't just some number they pulled out of thin air. The company's CEO has actually mapped out how they get there. To hit 5 million, they believe they need to maintain this absolutely blistering pace of 40 to 50% growth every single year. That's the rocket ship they plan to ride all the way to 2035.
All right, so let's play a little what-if game here. Let's just imagine for a second that they actually pull this off. What would the world even look like if NIO's dream becomes a reality?
Well, if they hit that goal, it means nothing less than total global presence. We're talking about NIO becoming a household name everywhere. This vision means they'd have to build factories right here in America and in Europe, to serve those markets and get around some hefty tariffs. It also means you'd see their cars in places they've never been before. Think Australia, South America, probably using a whole family of different brands to hit every price point.
And you know what that kind of success would mean for the financials, right? It would be a seismic shift. Now, obviously, this is all just speculation, but a lot of analysts are whispering that if NIO actually becomes a 5 million car a year giant, its stock price could blast off into the triple digits. That just shows you how high the stakes really are.
Okay, so that's the dream, the big, beautiful picture. But now we got to snap back to reality. Let's talk about the very real and very significant hurdles that NIO has to clear to even get close to that 2035 vision.
Now this is where things get really interesting, because one of their biggest roadblocks might not be what you think. According to their CEO, a major bottleneck is getting enough high-performance RAM chips. See, their cars are basically computers on wheels, stuffed with tech that needs tons of RAM for all the screens and self-driving features. The problem? They're now in a street fight for those exact same chips with the entire exploding AI industry.
And here's the kicker. This is not some short-term hiccup that's going to fix itself by next quarter. The general feeling in the industry is that this RAM shortage could easily last well into 2027. That could seriously pump the brakes on NIO's growth and put a huge squeeze on their profits for years to come.
Oh, and the headaches don't stop with chips. The amount of cash they need is just immense. I mean, think about it. The staggering cost to build those factories in the US and Europe, plus the fortune it'll take to build out their famous battery swap station network all over the world, all while trying to keep their car prices from going through the roof. It's a massive challenge.
So with all these gigantic hurdles in the way, what's NIO's actual plan? How on earth are they going to get from here to there? Let's take a look at the playbook they've put together to try and bridge that gap.
And their strategy is actually pretty clever. It's basically a three-wave attack. First up, in 2026, they'll launch their mass-market Firefly brand to get the international sales ball rolling. Right after that, they'll hit them with the Envo brand to grab a totally different part of the market. And only then, once they've got a solid foothold, will they start to slowly bring their high-end, premium NIO brand to the rest of the world. It's all designed to create these continuous waves of sales.
So you might be asking, where's all the money for this global expansion coming from? Well, a huge part of the answer is this: a capital-light franchising model. Instead of paying for everything themselves, they'll partner up with local businesses in places like Australia or Thailand. Those partners handle the sales, which means NIO gets its cars into new countries way faster and without having to spend a fortune up front.
And just to wrap your head around the scale of the infrastructure challenge, just look at their home turf in China. NIO already has over 3,000 battery swap stations there. That's an incredible number, but get this, it's still not considered enough for perfect coverage.
Now hold that number in your head, 3,000. Because to properly serve a country as huge as the United States, it's estimated NIO would need somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 swap stations. That's more than their entire current network in China, just for one country. That really puts the sheer cost of this global dream into perspective, doesn't it?
So you've got the ambition, you've got the hurdles, you've got the strategy, and it all boils down to the most important factor of all: time. This is a long-term game, which brings us to the big 9-year question.
I mean, just look at this roadmap. This is a marathon, not a sprint. The company hopes to finally be profitable in 2026.
a year later, they'll probably still be fighting that RAM shortage. And the ultimate prize, that 5 million car target, that's still 9 full years away. That requires an unbelievable amount of patience and basically flawless execution for almost a decade.
So, we're left right here with this one final question. When you stack up the sheer size of the ambition against all of these very real tech and money hurdles, is NIO's 2035 goal an inevitable destiny for a fast-moving company, or is it just an impossible dream? Well, I guess only the next 9 years can answer that.